Hey, I'm Ben, and this is the H90 Productions Captain's Log. It is a real-time, behind-the-scenes journal from the front lines of indie filmmaking. And if you're into that kind of thing, making of DIY filmmaking, please like, comment, and subscribe because it really, really helps independent creators like myself. It helps the algorithm share this stuff with more people like you who might be interested in it. So, much appreciated in advance. And look at that. Episode 2, we have a little bit of an intro forming there, people. Episode 1 was a very cold start, but I feel like that intro, I need to workshop it a little bit, but there's something there. It is Sunday, May 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Nice little happy accident that this podcast recording is happening on Sunday, May the 4th. This is my plan to record and post these on Sunday just because my weeks are slammed. And that deep swallow there reminded me just now that I apologize in advance. I'm dealing with something. I'm not sure if it's allergies or I don't think I'm getting sick. I don't know where I would have caught that from. I've been isolated working in my studio here for days on end, but I'm a little dry and apologies. I might have to do a little tea, which I'm going to do right now. Man, wow, a minute, 90 seconds in, and I got to lubricate the throat a little bit there. So apologies in advance, but happy May the 4th, Star Wars Day. I am a big Star Wars fan, but I am not going to pick between Star Wars and Star Trek. I would never want to be quizzed on Star Wars. I don't go that deep with it, but definitely, big fan. And here's a kind of a some inside baseball about the Mango audio drama series, which is the first project that H90 and myself are working on. We released Mango 1, which is Mango Dead Serious, on February 4th, 2024. And we are in post-production on Mango 2 as we speak. Literally, as we speak here, you can see some of these waveforms. But the Star Wars tie-in between with Mango is that the relationship between the main character, Johnny Mango, and his dog, Kismet, is loosely inspired by the relationship between Han Solo and Chewbacca. And an example of that is the way Mango and Kismet communicate to each other, with Kismet barking. They kind of understand each other. And similar to Chewbacca and Han Solo, and it's a love-hate relationship. I don't know about hate; that's a strong word, but they can get on each other's nerves. But it's all because of love. So if you like Star Wars and Star Trek and that stuff, this is a major spoiler alert just for people who are listening to this. I'm calling it a video series, but it might actually be a podcast. It might be a podcast. If you like that kind of thing, just stick around. Stick around, like Arnold, stick around. That's all I'm going to say. Just stick around. All right, so I am also doing my best here not to say, oh my gosh. I feel like it could be a great drinking game. Every time I say, take a shot. Almost did it right there. I'm going to do my best to try to clean that up. So this is an exercise for me too, these podcasts, is to practice this stuff. Almost did it right there. I've been thinking a lot about this particular, I'm going to call it a podcast right now. Let's just call it a podcast. I've been thinking a lot about this podcast since episode 1 dropped last week. This is episode 2. I wasn't actually planning on doing this every week, but I feel like I have something to share this weekend, so I'm going to do it. And let's see if we can kind of keep that up. This series is going to evolve a little bit, but in the first episode, I talked about this series and this channel really being, mostly this series about being about updates. And while updates will definitely be a part of this, it's more than that. This series, the Captain's Log, is about documenting building something from scratch. And updates are going to be a part of that, but this is about, this is the beginning of H90 Productions. This isn't just about the Mango project, although that is the major project right now. my dreams and aspirations are to produce feature films and other stuff out of Hard 90, out of this production company. So this is the very beginning, and the audio dramas are leading the show right now. But the dreams down the line are to expand into bigger and better things. And I think documenting this and starting it now is really cool, because I was thinking about it. And I'm like, well, gosh, if let's say you did a bunch of Mango audio dramas, and then you ended up producing a feature film, and you kind of like down the line, you're like, okay, I want to start a podcast. It's like, that's not as interesting as starting it now when it's the beginning. Like, this is like the exciting part. This is the fun part. This is the scary, terrifying part where, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but that's what this is about. And my goal here with this particular video series and podcast is just to share everything I can about the process in real time, or at least kind of week to week. So that's the goal. I just wanted to share that because it's not just about updates, but updates are a big part of it. So with that being said, let's jump into the updates. There, get a little sip of tea here. This week was a tough one. This was a tough week. My plan was to jump into the sound design on Mango 2. Didn't get around to it. And I will leave it as this week was emotional in a few ways, having to do with work, having to do with personal life stuff. And life just got in the way. And that's part of documenting this is sometimes things don't happen the way you want them to. I will leave it at that. But there were some positive things that moved forward with this project, particularly Mango 2, which is what we're talking about right now. So I realized that I forgot to record some things that I needed before I started the sound design process. So I spent some time this week recording that stuff, laying it in there. Fingers crossed I can jump into the sound design stuff this week. Another big update, which I wanted to touch on in episode 1, which I didn't get to because there was so much to cover, is that the design portion of this project, which is developing the artwork for the poster, for the 1x1 square podcast asset, the 16:9 YouTube thumbnail asset, a vertical asset that'll go out on social media. I'm excited to say that the illustration part of that process is done. And if you've seen the work on Mango Dead Serious, which is Mango 1, the zombie illustration, you'll be familiar with the style, but I am incorporating that same style into the design work for Mango 2. And I'm so stoked to say I've been working with the same artist, an illustrator from Italy named Rennie. Rennie, if you're watching this, thank you so much, man. It's been incredible working with you and your colorist, Erica, on this project. I planted the seed with Rennie late last year about what I was hoping to accomplish with the design and artwork for Mango 2. And we hit the ground running in January. And basically at the end of April here, we wrapped up the illustration and artwork part of the design stuff. And, I'm actually looking at it right here. You can't see it. But there's still more work to be done on my end. I have to add, for instance, I'm working on the poster right now. I have to add the title graphics, the billing graphics, the actor names, the tagline, all that kind of stuff. But the heavy lifting with the illustration part of it is done. And I can't wait to share more about how that all unfolded. It included layout rounds, inking rounds, color rounds, just a really, really wonderful process with some talented folks out there in Italy. And like I said, I can't wait to share more about that. But that is kind of unlocking. That's actually a great transition into the next update, which is what else has happened this week. I've spent a lot of time on planning and strategy. And what I mean by that is it's been about trying to identify and lock down a target release date or a couple options to keep it flexible, and then work backwards from that release date to mark on the calendar major milestones and checkpoints. It's something I didn't do on Mango 1 because it was the first one, and just the goal was to finish the audio drama and get it out there, which is what I did. Got it out there, then did the trailer, then did all the behind the scenes stuff. And, that's just the way it goes, I think, on the first one. It's, I don't have kids, but it feels like a metaphor of like your first kid, you're figuring it out. And the second kid, you do a little better. And maybe by the third kid, you're kind of like, you got it all figured out. So back to the release plan. There's been, I've just been for the last 2 weeks, I've been planning this out, and I feel really good. I'm narrowing in on a release date. Not going to mention that now, but because of how I'm documenting this, the release plan can be stretched out over a longer period of time. So a great example of this is there's going to be a poster release. There's going to be a sizzle, a teaser release, a full trailer release, but those things can be spread out a little bit because I'm bringing you in behind the scenes as we go versus just like an 8-week run right before the audio drama drops, which will happen for this project. But because we can stretch it out with a video series like this, it helps just let things marinate a little more. So there will be a poster release, which will have the title on it. That is tentatively planned for sometime this summer. So stay tuned. Then we'll follow up with a teaser release after that, then a trailer release, and so on and so forth. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but very excited about the artwork and illustration work. Again, Rennie and Erica, thank you so much. I can't wait to share more about that. Next update is, the last update is about Mango 1. So Mango 1 is Mango Dead Serious. That's released already. You guys know that. I don't need to repeat myself. We are diving deeper on Mango 1 into the behind the scenes stuff. So right now we released a series called Inside Mango Dead Serious, which is interview formats, videos with myself and the actors reflecting on how we brought Mango Dead Serious to life. The next video series coming out is going to be called just simply The Making of Mango Dead Serious. Inside Mango Dead Serious was originally called Making of Mango Dead Serious because there wasn't anything else up there, but the reason why this series coming out is the true making of is because it features, hold for siren. The reason why this is the true making of series is because it features footage and content from set real time while I was making Mango Dead Serious. So I'm like, got my phone up, talking to camera, and I'm going to start off this series with 3 little teaser trailers. One's about writing and development, one's about casting, and another one is about production and recording. And so that's going to be a really fun making of series. And then after that, another series will be released called, I'm just simply calling it Mango Dead Series Behind the Scenes. And that will be more raw style footage, fly on the wall. Hey, here's the whole scene that we worked on between myself and the actor. You can watch us you'll basically just watch us how we worked through that scene, just with no cuts, limited edits, that type of thing. So that's a series that will follow up this making of series. So lots of content coming to this channel. Those are the updates for now. How am I doing? Around 15 minutes. Okay. I am going to move on to what's coming up next. This week, I am really hoping I can start sound designing scene 1. I still have some stuff to pick up recording wise to fill out all the scenes with the dialogue we have captured. So fingers crossed, going to try to do my best to get into sound design this week. I'm continuing to plan and really honing in on what this release date is going to be, because everything is going to be based off of that. And continuing to work on Mango 1. So those teaser trailers will be coming out soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, look at that. It's 15 minutes. That's 10 minutes shorter than episode 1. Episode 3, I will do my best to get even shorter. I'm working my way through this and learning as we go here a little bit. But I hope you enjoyed those updates. There's so much more to come. Stay safe, stay tuned, and may the 4th be with you. And we even have an outro for episode 2. I'm not going to use May the 4th be with you every time, but how about that? We're learning and growing each time.